Hey, my name is Gus Kavanaugh, and what I want to share with you over the next 90 seconds or so is how you can build your first machine learning model in just 8 lines of code. Yes, count them, just 8 lines of code. In order to do this, and we're going to do this right now in front of you, we're going to use the Scikit-learn library, and this is going to be really simple. Again, you can see everything on the screen. This is our first machine learning library in just 8 lines of code. So first thing we got to do is we got to get some data. And we're going to import that data directly from Scikit-learn using the sklearn datasets library. And we're going to load in Boston housing prices. So this data has a bunch of features about houses, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, square footage, you get the idea, as well as the price. And our model, we're going to use a linear regression, is going to predict the price of those homes. So let's go through, and I'm going to run all of this, and we're going to step through it line by line. So first off, we have our imports. We have to import the data itself, and sklearn, Scikit-learn comes with some really handy data sets. We're going to grab the Boston housing prices one. Then we're also going to import our model, linear regression. And over the course of these next few videos, we're going to go way deeper on the different types of models. So right now, we're going to start with something relatively vanilla just to get your hands dirty, but we're going to go way deeper here, I promise. So now that we've done our imports, we're going to load the data, and we can do this with this handy function, load Boston. And this is what our data looks like. So we're going to call .keys, and that's going to show us the column headers for the data. And then we can go through, or excuse me, not the column headers, that's in feature names. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's so few lines of code. When I call .keys, this is going to show us the 4 different data sets that we have. So the data is going to be all of our features. This is what we're going to use to train our model. And the target is the actual output we want to predict. So data equals features, target equals the price of the house. So bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, etc. Target the price. And then we have the names and a description of the data set. And I'm just using these 2 lines here, keys and feature names, to give you a little bit of information, some context about the data. But to be honest, we actually don't need them to build our model. We could have eliminated those 2, and I could say your first machine learning model in just 6 lines of code. But I want to give you a little bit of context because that's the kind of guy I am, right? You got to love me. Okay, great. So now that we have a little context in our data, let's instantiate our linear regression. We do that really easily. Linear regression, open and close parentheses. Now we have our classifier, and let's go forward and fit this. So that's the second step. We instantiate the model, and now we fit our data to it. And in this case, I'm going to fit our entire training data set. I'm going to fit all of our features and all of our prices to this model. And when I do that, I now have a model that has been trained. I did that with the .fit method. And once that has been completed, and we'll go forward in future videos and show you why you don't want to use all of the data that you have to fit your models, because then it's going to be difficult for your model to generalize to unseen data, or it's going to be difficult for you rather to understand how your model will generalize to unseen data. And go figure, we want our models to help us predict things, not to become experts in the data that we already have. But in this case, again, this is the first machine learning model I've ever done in 8 lines of code. So we're just going to go ahead and fit this model with all of the data that we have. And now once we've done that, we'll just score it. We'll go ahead and run the exact same thing, and we'll score that model on the data that we have, and then we'll compare it to, so given all the features, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, neighborhood, etc., go ahead and see how well it predicts those target prices, 200,000, 300,000, 179,000, etc. And what we see here is accuracy. And in this case, our model returned an accuracy of 74%. I mean, imagine this is a 2-dimensional graph with the Y values being the prices. So you can see that, that scatter plot, you're going to have prices all over the place. This is our line of best fit, 74% accurate in just 8 lines of code. Now, we'll also talk about in future videos why accuracy isn't always the best metric. In fact, it can almost rarely be the best metric for gauging the effectiveness of your model, or at least alone accuracy is really, really insufficient. But for now, again, this is your first machine learning model in just 8 lines of code, and this is how we did it. The imports: import our data set, import linear model, load the data, instantiate the model, fit the model, and then score it. And we are done. So congratulations. If you copy this down, you are good to go. You've created your first machine learning model in just 8 lines of code using the Scikit-learn library in Python. So stay tuned. We're going to go way deeper on all of these topics. We're going to talk about different types of models, different data sets, how to cross-validate, how to come up with different metrics, or how to score your model effectively, gauge its performance. All of this is to come, but congratulations, you have just built your first machine learning model in just 8 lines of code. Talk to you again soon.